What's going on, everyone? Austin from SCHEELS. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of What's Cooking. Today we're going to be making a 12-pound pork belly burnt end. This is a great way to make burnt ends without having to cook a whole brisket. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to half this brisket right here. The reason we're going to cut this in half is because we're going to be doing two different seasonings today. So on this half of the pork belly, we're going to be using the Killer Hogs Hot Barbecue. And then on this half right here, we're going to be using the Meat Church Honey Hog. So now that it's halved, we're going to take it and we're just going to cut it into about inch bite-sized bits. A little tip here is the colder that you have this pork belly, the easier it's going to cut. And then of course, a nice sharp knife always does the job really good. So the knife that I'm using right now is the Meat Crafter by Benchmade. It's a super sharp knife. Benchmade grip makes great stuff. And it doesn't matter if these are a couple different sizes. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly an inch. Just get her to nice bite-sized pieces. I'll flip this guy right around now. We're going to be cooking today on the Ironwood 885 as well. You can do this on any smoker as well. It doesn't have to be a Traeger. It can be a Pit Boss or a Traeger. It could be a Green Mountain. It could be about whatever you guys got at home. The first time I did this recipe was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. It was right after I got done cooking a brisket, and then I did burnt ends with the leftovers. And then I figured, well, what would be another way that I could make burnt ends, but without having to cook that brisket and take that time to cook that brisket. So after I did that, I went to the butcher and I got one of these guys. I didn't get quite as big as one of this. This is a 12-pounder, so this is going to cook a lot of people. About a 5 to 7-pounder will cook about anywhere from, I don't know, about 10 people to 20 people. Depends if you were doing this as an appetizer or if you were doing this as a main course. You can do this either way. It's a great little appetizer to start off your cook for 4th of July, for Memorial Day, even for Christmas and stuff. You can do this for about anything. Again, we're just going to turn it right there and then cut this into cubes. After we smoke this on the Traeger for 3 hours, we're going to bring it back in here, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of love with some brown sugar, honey, and butter, because who doesn't like that stuff? Okay, now that we have these all cubed, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off one of these gloves just to keep a clean hand on my seasoning there. And we're just going to give this a nice liberal seasoning all over the top of this. We're going to be getting in You can also put this in a tub if you do want to put it in a tub, and then toss it in the tub, but you want to make sure that you get seasoning on about every side of this guy. And then what I like to do too is I like to put the fat cap on the top side. This just allows so when it starts cooking, that fat just starts dripping through that meat. And I like to go a little bit hotter on the seasoning and then make it a little bit sweeter with the with the spice or with the barbecue sauce. So as you can see, that one's just slightly a little bit bigger than that one. That will be absolutely fine. Once you start cooking, they'll all be done about the same time. I am leaving a little bit of space in between these guys just to allow for that smoke to make its way all the way through the top. You don't have to use those jerky racks, but it does make it a little bit easier just transferring it on the grill and off the grill. Saves a little bit of time, and then it keeps your pit all the way up to temperature. Okay guys, I just got them all seasoned up here. I let them sit for about 10 to 15 minutes to let them sweat and to let that seasoning cohere to them a little bit. Now we're gonna go get them on the Traeger. Okay, I just brought those guys outside, and now it's time to get them on the grill. Again, this is why you use those racks, just so it's easy to put them right on the grill. You can just get them going right in there. This helps keep your pit up to temperature too, so you're not losing a whole bunch of temperature when you're opening that lid. And then get her shut. Now that they're on the grill, I'm gonna come back probably every 45 minutes to an hour and just spritz them, or I'll check in, and if they look a little bit dry, I'll just take this apple juice right here and just give them a little spritz. Okay guys, we just took these off the grill here. They've been going for about 3 hours at 275 degrees. I'm gonna get them both into their own individual pans here, put some butter on them, some honey and some brown sugar, get them wrapped up and get them back on the grill for about another hour. So these guys are already starting to look amazing. Fat's just dripping off of them right now. You don't have to be gentle with this, just throw them right in there. I'll get this guy in this tub. So this is a great way to feed a lot of people. You can use this as an appetizer or a main course. Okay, now that we got those in those tubs, we're just gonna take a little bit of brown sugar right here and just sprinkle them over top of it. We probably have about a half cup of brown sugar in here. You can use as much brown sugar as you want or as little. This just amps up the flavor, makes it a little bit sweeter. Now I got the brown sugar in there. We're just going to take a couple pieces of butter, just kind of sprinkle them all over top of this. And then hit it with a little bit of honey here. Now that we got that honey on there, we'll put some tin foil on top. This is just going to help bring that pork belly all the way up to temperature. We're shooting for right around a 200 degrees, 205, somewhere right in there. Now that we got this tin foil on here, we're gonna bring it back out to the grill. We're gonna keep it at that 275 and go for about an hour, and then we'll pull those off and be right back with you. Okay guys, I just took these off the grill Just check the internal temperature of these guys, and they're sitting right about 200, 204. Just really depends on which one you're checking here. So that's good enough for those guys. So I'm going to take these, I'm going to put them in these pans right here. I'm going to toss them in some barbecue sauce, and then I'm going to get them back out on the grill. So these guys right here, these ones are the Killer Hog ones, and we're going to put their Killer Hogs barbecue sauce right on those guys as well too. And then on the Honey Hog, I'm going to put Cosmos OPX1 on there. There's those guys. These are already smelling so good. And you guys can use any barbecue sauce that you do want to. Got that, all those guys right on there, so I'm just going to take off a glove here, grab this barbecue sauce. As I'm pouring them over, I'm just going to toss them just a little bit. You don't need too much barbecue sauce when you're doing this, you just want enough just to coat them all. Again, this one is the Killer Hogs Hot paired with the Killer Hogs barbecue sauce. So that one's all good there. And then on this side, I'm going to put Cosmos OPX1 on here. This is a little bit thicker of a barbecue sauce, but once it goes back on the grill, okay, that looks good right there. I'm just gonna get these back on the grill for about 10 to 15 minutes and just let that barbecue sauce set up, and then we'll be right back with you. I just took these guys off the grill and just let them sit for a little bit just to cool down. So I'll grab one right here. Really good, nice and juicy. That barbecue sauce is not hot at all. You can taste just a little bit of that Killer Hogs Hot that we used at the beginning, but really, really good. Let's try this one here. This one's gonna be that Honey Hog with the OPX1 on. Let's give this one a try. This one's gonna be just a little bit sweeter here. That OPX1 really comes out. It's not as hot as what that Killer Hogs was. Really, really good. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. You can find all the products we used in this video in the description below. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you next time.